Welcome back to Red Hood, right here at the Comicstorian channel. I'm Benny, and I'll be your narrator for today. Red Hood in the DC Rebirth line has gone through a lot of stuff. First, he created the Dark Trinity, which was him, Bizarro, and Artemis. Then he battled against Batman as he attempted to kill Penguin, and then he decided to go into the Midwest to stop a gang as Red Hood Outlaw, as his friends Bizarro and Artemis ended up in an alternate dimension. After discovering that Roy was killed, coming back to Gotham, becoming the Prince of Crime, the year of the villain has started. And what Lex Luthor offered Red Hood was the ability to teach a new generation of evil villain/superhero kids to basically train the evil Teen Titans. And that is where this story begins. If you enjoy Red Hood as much as I do, make sure you subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to smash that like button because, you know, Red Hood likes guns and you like this video. I don't have very many connections. But today, let's bring you the first two issues of Red Hood, Generation Outlaw. Jason Todd has been called so many things throughout his life. Robin, Red Hood, hero, outlaw. But now, he's a teacher. Mr. Hood. One of the students raises their hand asking why are they in a battlefield MASH unit and not in a more traditional classroom. The holographic technology here can create any kind of environment. Jason leans back in his chair stating that because this is not your usual school. Every one of you has been enrolled in this school by Lex Luthor himself to be the doom bringers of tomorrow. Plus, I'm your teacher, and what I say goes. So roll call. Babe in arms, a baby being cradled by a zombie woman coos. Jason says, okay, not too weird. Cloud Girl? The blue-haired student tells him that actually it's Cloud 9, but points for noticing that she is a girl. Jason says, yeah, don't ever do that again. Ever. DNA? The strands of DNA that seem to compose human cells yell out present. Jason then looks back at the list and asks, what about Devour? The red-haired boy with a mechanical body finishes chewing on his bucket of bolts, stating that DNA is right. They're supposed to be learning how to enslave cities, genocide, ruling the world. Then Jason throws his knife into his makeshift desk, telling them, fine, whoever can take me down will teach the class. But we probably need to go back a little bit, because you're probably wondering, just how did Jason Todd end up being a teacher? Well, that all started 2 weeks ago. Lex Luthor came and offered him a role in teaching a new class of villains, and Jason Todd said yes. Why? Still to be determined. After that, Lex had given him an ATM card, which somehow teleported him to the center of the Earth inside of Dr. Shea Veritas' lab, known as the Block. Being the smartest woman in the world, her job is to monitor the children and their growth, and that being said, Jason did have a reason to teach these kids, so that they don't ever make mistakes trying to prove themselves and act like grown-ups. Besides, if he hadn't taken this offer, Lex would have just handed them off to the Joker, or Cheetah, or some other psycho. Makes him the best chance they've got, and God help them if that's the case. Now back to the battle in the classroom, Devour transforms his arm into a cannon, firing a missile through Cloud's body and blows up the teacher's desk. Jason quickly rolls out of the blast area and DNA turns her arm into a long tentacle lashing about. Jason then holds out a tentacle, slamming his knife through it into the metal armor on his leg, with DNA shouting, "Our tentacle!" Jason tells her that that's the thing about being a genetic morphic strand of DNA. The limb will grow back before you know it. Cloud flies up, creating a blizzard, and begins to rain down shards of ice on the entire classroom, stating that she almost feels bad for doing this. As the shards hit Devour, he yells that they're supposed to be taking out Red Hood, not each other! Jason grabs a piece of the debris to shield himself, stating that you have to use whatever you can to take your enemy down, even if it's another enemy. Devour then changes his arm into a laser cannon, shooting a bolt of lightning into Cloud, causing a massive explosion. And Jason asks, who here knew that water and electricity don't mix? As the smoke is clearing, the zombie mother of Babe in Arms points a gun at Jason, and Jason tells her, looks like it's just us now. Babe then says, cease, mother, he's fine. Jason stares for a second, asking if the baby is the brains of the duo. She's lucky that she didn't get hit in the crossfire. Babe says that Mother would never allow anything to happen to her little genius. Besides, she isn't worried about being killed, she was merely watching and studying. As everyone starts to get back up, Jason walks out stating, congratulations! You've all failed your first test. Wipe off your shame and meet me in the transport room in 10 minutes. Later, as the kids are finishing up their showers, Cloud looks at DNA and says, dude, why so many towels? That's like 3. And DNA tells her that they have to dry every strand. And don't call them dude. And Cloud says, sorry, dude. So does that mean you're a girl? And DNA tells her that they don't identify by their binary choice. And can they all agree that they shouldn't be sharing a room with a mombi? Babe then asks if this is coming from an entity that can't even decide what they look like. They're literally strands of DNA. No one cares what they think. DNA lunges at Babe, changing their arm into a giant bear claw, but as DNA gets close, they're shot in the paw. DNA then pulls back, asking, why does everyone go for the hand? And Babe tells Mother, thank you, Mama. DNA then comes back, changing all of their arms into spiked tendrils, and while Cloud shouts how much she's going to love this school, Devour lets out a loud sigh. He then spits up a small metal device that unfolds dozens of pods that hang both DNA and Mother to the ceiling. Devour yells that he isn't here to babysit them. They kill each other now and they'll all get sent home. So Cloud grabs her stomach, stating, oh my god, this is so gross. As Devour collects the device, there's a knock at the door with Jason asking if everyone's okay. They all give him their thumbs up, and Cloud shouts that they're eager as clams. Later, over at the STARS laboratory in Woodbury, Connecticut, Devour expands his mechanical mouth to create a portal, and soon everyone begins to jump out. As Devour's jaw retracts, Jason says that he read the file. Teleporting people through his mouth wasn't on it. Devour tells him that he can't take full credit. It was actually Babe's idea. So Jason asks, were they teaming up together in extracurricular activities behind his back? That's not too disconcerting. But before they get far, DNA yells that they sense distress up ahead. Jason tells everyone that they need to be careful, but Cloud converts her body into a wispy cloud and rushes ahead, stating that she'll be fine. As everyone tries to keep up, they suddenly hear Cloud, who went off alone, screaming. So Jason tells everyone to stop, and as he opens up the door, he sees a creature holding Cloud by her neck, chewing on the remains of what they think is a human. As the creature munches through another bone, Cloud then asks, are you gonna save me or what? And Jason responds, yeah, judging by how that thing is covered from head to toe in bone, I'm pretty sure guns aren't gonna work. Looks like everyone's going to have to work together on this one. The creature lunges, shouting, step back! And Devour jumps in front, telling them all, I'll take care of this! Jason tells them that is exactly the opposite of what I just asked you guys to do. The creature slashes through Devour's stomach, and he asks if that's all. He then extends his arm, caging the creature, and Jason says that was brief. Admittedly impressive. But as everyone begins to celebrate Devour's victory, the creature breaks through the cage, shouting, don't! Devour's entire arm shatters, and Babe in Arms and DNA step up to try and contain the creature. As the fighting goes on, Jason steps out and leans against the wall, stating, yeah, go team! You guys are working great together. As everyone throws themselves at the creature individually, they all get defeated, with DNA standing between everyone, yelling, wait! His name is Riser, and he didn't kill those guards. Jason walks in clapping. Ha! No, he didn't, and bravo. DNA goes on stating that when they touched him, they were connected. Maybe it's because they both have secondarily modified DNA? He was a Star Labs intern exposed to doomsday spores that turns him into a monster when stressed. Eventually, it became harder for him to control, so he turned himself into Star Labs, hoping that they would cure him, but it didn't go so well. When the facility was attacked, he used the confusion to escape, but unfortunately, the monster inside of him needed to feast on the dead guards. Cloud says, right, because eating people is a normal thing. Babe then says that Mr. Hood's behavior during the battle, calm. He wasn't worried about a thing. He stood back and did nothing. Jason throws up his arms, telling them, guilty as charged. I read everything on this guy. They called him Doomed before he was enlisted into Generation Outlaw. Devour yells that he is the worst teacher ever. And Jason tells him that it's the only way that they're going to learn. But before Jason can continue, Doomed begins to mutter something. Everyone listens and Doomed says, other monsters. Just then a giant red arm begins to rip down the hallway. Several creatures, one of which being the man that the giant arm is attached to, walk in, stating that the young man would be referring to them. Monster Arm and friends. Jason tells everyone, hey guys, it's official. Class is in session. And that concludes the first 2 issues of Generation Outlaw. Now, I don't know what ended up happening with these evil Teen Titans, because it seems to go for about 3 to 4 more issues. Then we're going to get Bizarro and Artemis back, and we seem to be kind of going back to the Red Hood and the Outlaws that everyone enjoyed, the Dark Trinity. So, subscribe to the channel because that means that we'll be giving you more Red Hood next week. Give this video a like to let me know, Benny, I want to know what happens to the evil Teen Titans, and I so want the Dark Trinity back. And don't forget to follow us on Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian, where you're able to get early access to a lot of our videos, unedited versions of our podcast, and pretty much help support additional ideas like doing the Savage video that we did, or doing more Red Hood. Things that won't do necessarily that well on the channel, but hey, we have people that want to watch them, and that's how we get the funding for that. So don't forget patreon.com/Comicstorian, and I'll see you guys next time right here.